Fourth one is promise. So, God, there's so many ways of explaining this. So, every business is a promise delivery machine. So, from the director of first impressions, or your front desk person, through to you as the director or the founder, what is it that you're setting as an expectation and then relentlessly delivering on? It's that thing that if you put it out in the market, it should make you slightly nervous. It's your claim to what are you going to be famous for? So, what do you want to be famous for? You look at brands like Avis, which is in a second, and they are famous for we try harder. So there's nothing different about their business, nothing different about their cars, about their pricing structure, where they live. They live in an airport. Their price is exactly the same as everyone else. Their branding is slightly distinctive because they're red, unlike the competitors, or their main competitor, Thrifty, except their people. So they own a behavioural model where their people try harder. It's the same as Mitre 10, Mighty Helpful. So you look at that around going, set that expectation. If you set Mighty Helpful as your expectation, you better be bloody sure that your people are helpful, or otherwise it's all over. So what is that thing, what is that promise that you want to put out in the market? What are you going to be famous for? Sometimes it's a tagline and sometimes it's not. So the NFL in America their promise is, to connect people socially and emotionally like no other. It's not about sport. It's not about that. It's about a social and emotional connection. So that's an internal marker for them. Coke has, the most optimistic business in the world. You have to, because you're selling, Black Death to kids, essentially, or Black Panadol, either or. So looking at that around going, what is that expectation you're going to create internally and then deliver on externally? So Morgan Stanley, I love this example because back in the 80s, they came out with this client promise, this expectation, which is one client at a time. They say emotional times require sound, unemotional financial advice. Morgan Stanley, one client at a time. So when everyone was booming and going mental and saying, we're the biggest, we're the best, like real estate agents going, we're number one, which is disgraceful, they went, our clients are number one client at a time. Everyone felt special. They've got that comfort factor. And I guarantee every one of your businesses promises that at one point or another, is that for us, you will be the only client in the world in that moment and will make you feel like the most important person in our lives. And that's when people become loyal for life. So that is a great promise. NAB, you guys look at that. Everyone, obviously, every advisor, every bank, everyone wants to be more than just money. They want to be about life, about work-life balance. They want to be that sort of stuff. But NAB was the first to come out and actually own that. Talk to us about what's important to you. They've spent billions on this campaign. We don't have that sort of cash, but we can learn from them. Go, life's about more than money. Talk to us about what's important. Again, personalised service, what that looks like. Westpac Chopper was something that they couldn't get rid of, that the whole of Australia said, so you should, you bastards, you should be helping us. So Westpac turned that into a positive because they couldn't get rid of it, around proudly supporting Australia. So they used it as their ad campaign around, no matter what you think of them, they're giving back all the time and they're there when you need them. So that's a great brand alignment and a great promise. HSBC, you guys would travel a lot. You would see this in every airport that you go through like I do. And essentially, HSBC is selling the way they look at the world. So you might have in your key messaging, in your customer value proposition around, we see things differently. I guess you can guess whose tagline that is, but you look around that and go, leather, deity, dinner. It's no matter what your view is, no matter how you look at it, it's we see things different, and the values that people have, we recognise that. So that is a great example of vision and the way you actually look at stuff and talk as to how that can work. These are the two I just discussed earlier. If it's not about your technology, it's not about your methodologies, and it's not about your approach, then is it about your people? Are your people better than everyone else's? Do what you believe in, is that driven through your people and how they service customers? Does everyone in your business know all your clients' stuff? If they call through and you're not there, or your 2IC isn't there, can they speak to the front desk and they'll go, hi, such and such. Yes, of course, we know that challenge that you're under. Absolutely, I'll get someone to look at that. Actually, I'll find that now myself, etc. You can have a distinctive brand proposition built on the back of your people and how they behave and what they look like. That's just as easy as saying our approach, like Morgan Stanley, going one client at a time, around going mighty helpful people, better educated, whatever it is. YouTube, their brand promise is different. You look at that and say YouTube owns one word, and that's like the holy grail of branding or marketing is one word travels faster than two. Google owns search, YouTube owns video. So as their brand promise, the whole business is aligned to go give everyone a voice and show them the world. As the second biggest search engine in the world, it's all about that. So it's about search, but everyone can get on YouTube and post something, if it's clean, and then look at it. So that around give everyone a voice and show them the world, is your brand promise, is your business promise around, show everyone what's possible and deliver on that for them. You got to think about these things around, it can be a longer statement that you actually want to put together, and you can shorten it into a tagline and stuff if you want. So the categories to explore, so you stick these up and make sure that you go through them. So around going, is it our beliefs that are distinctive? The way we believe people should be treated, the way we believe people should have, should be ready for retirement. Is it the beliefs around, what you actually want ownable to you around your people, around service? Your personality, is that it? So look at Virgin. Virgin has that fun, do things differently, tongue in cheek, that sort of stuff, like the Richard Branson model. Is that you? If you've got, a super high grade A type personality, are you going to be the face of it, or do you make the business the face of it in the way you look at it? Humor is never used in financial services, or never used well, so it could be that, is it more fun? Rather than people going, wealth advisory, this is terrifying. I'm going to get sold some insurance and then slapped with some huge fees. I'm going to get told that I'm nowhere near where I should be. This is terrifying and very depressing. Do you flip that, and is yours more around fun and goals? I spoke to a wealth advisor and he said, what is the things that you want? And I said, he who dies with the most toys wins, so I want my Harley. And he said, well, let's get that this year then. And I was like, I don't think I'm in a financial position to, this was 8 years ago, to do that. And he was like, yes, you are. Bang, 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 this will give you more happiness, more things. This will actually drive the rest of your goals and help you save because you've got this thing out of the way. I don't know whether it was great financial advice, but I got it and it made me feel awesome. So the personality around fun really worked. Is it around service? Around your, mighty helpful around service. So NRMA, experience better. So that is a service-driven promise. Emotional drivers, is it personal? Is it about something? Is it around positivity, around optimism for the future? Can you make people feel like you've got this, you've got this, you've got their backs? Is it around mindset, like HSBC? Is it around how you understand your clients better? Like expand that through to your stories around how, by deep diving into them, by understanding not just what they tell you, but going under what are the needs behind it, or what are the personal drivers behind those goals? Is that something you can own? And then methodologies, approach thinking, do you have the 27 steps or the 5 ways to blah? Can you rip that down to a number like the 7 habits? Numbers work really well. Go through a list of all of those things and go, what are they? When you put them back against the unique brand propositions, your CVP, you'll then start seeing commonalities between your stories that you had, between then your customer value propositions and then your promise. You'll start seeing them all come together. You should have, after you've spent this day away with your team, you'll have all your stories outlined so people can, and you'll define your top 3, top 4, top 5. Simplicity is everything in this process. So you really, really want to chunk down into make them clear and make them simple. So I call them the barbecue stories. So when, Jenny comes in and she's, first thing, she's training to become a financial advisor in your business, and she's standing in a barbecue with all her mates and they go, where do you work? She goes, I work for Saxon and Bridge. And it's like, oh, great. It's like, oh, we did this amazing thing once where we blah, blah, blah. You want those stories just to rattle out so that they're telling them, so that people connect. So that's initially how you sell. Impact list, those 5 key messages, your customer value propositions. You want to look at that and go, great, what do they look like? Where do they live? Your target market's defined and focused on. You've got a picture there sitting in your office of who that is. And your brand promise, your tagline or expectation is cemented. You'll have physical reminders in your office. You'll weave this into your marketing. You'll put this stuff through your business stories in all your presentations, and you'll then have them all over your website. This will become the backbone of how you sell the business, how you onboard people, most importantly, and what you do.